12 Years a Slave is a 2013 biographical drama film directed by Steve McQueen from a screenplay by John Ridley, based on the 1853 slave memoir 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup, an African-American man who was kidnapped in Washington, D.C. by two conmen in 1841 and sold into slavery. He was put to work on plantations in the state of Louisiana for 12 years before being released. The first scholarly edition of David Wilson's version of Northup's story was co-edited in 1968 by Shu Hikin and Joseph Logsdon. The movie won the BAFTA Award and the Academy Award for the Best Picture as well as the Golden Globe Award for Best Drama. Based on the autobiographical narrative of Solomon Northup, the film chronicles the experiences of slavery and the effects of human bondage on everyone involved. Based on a true story, 12 Years a Slave is a riveting account of a free black man kidnapped from New York and sold into brutal slavery in mid-1850s Louisiana, and the inspiring story of his desperate struggle to return home to his family. Solomon Northup, an educated black man with a gift for music, lives with his wife and children in Saratoga, New York. One day, when his family is out of town, he is approached by two men claiming to be circus promoters. Solomon agrees to travel with them, playing the fiddle while they perform, but after sharing a drink with the men, he awakens to find he has been drugged and bound and faces a horrifying reality. He is being shipped to the South as a slave. No one listened to Solomon's claim that he has papers proving his status as a free man. Despairing, he plots his escape only to be foiled at every turn. He is sold to William Ford, a kindly mill owner who appreciates Solomon's thoughtful nature, but Ford is forced to sell him to a cruel master who subjects him and other slaves to unspeakable brutality. For years, Solomon nurtures his dreams of returning home. He stashes slips of stolen paper in his fiddle and develops a natural ink with which to write a letter. But when his greatest efforts come to nothing, he realizes just how trapped he is. Even if he could write the letter without being caught, where will he send it? Whom could he trust to deliver it? And will he even survive long enough to be rescued? Refusing to abandon hope, Solomon watches helplessly as those around him succumb to violence, crushing emotional abuse, and hopelessness. He realizes that he will have to take incredible risks and depend on the most unlikely people if he is ever to regain his freedom and be reunited with his family. As we know, there is also the book of the film that was an important success, so now we are going to see and to show the differences between the book and the film. A small difference is that Solomon had 3 kids. In the movie, he only has 2. In the beginning of his enslavement, there's a scene that shows what he is currently going through and then shows a flashback to life in New York. When on the boat taking him to New Orleans, he is talking with 2 other men and they plan an escape. In the book, the escape plan is thrown out when one of the men gets smallpox and dies. In the movie, he tries to stop a white man from taking advantage of one of the women, and the white guy stabs him. They made it a bit more dramatic in the movie by having him die that way. Another small difference when he's up for sale at New Orleans, he is with a woman named Eliza and their 2 children. In the book, her son is sold the day prior, then later forked, comes to buy Solomon and Eliza, and she begs him to also buy her daughter since she has already been separated from one of her children. In the movie, the sale of her son happens basically at the same time as Ford buying her. But just as in the book, the slave seller refuses to sell her daughter, saying in a few years he will be able to sell her for so much more. One of the biggest changes is in the movie. Solomon tells Ford that he is a free man who has been kidnapped. Ford, however, has already sold him to someone else and says there is nothing he can do. In the book, Solomon never told Ford this. He actually regretted not confiding in him because he felt Ford would have actually helped. At the time, though it seemed too risky to tell anyone the truth for fear of being brutally whipped or killed. In general, 12 Years a Slave was very popular with both audiences and critics. The themes dealt with the right directional choices, and also a cast of lively actors certainly defined the consensus of the public. The result is a film in which McQueen still manages to send his message and reach the audience. In summary, it's a pleasant and well-made film which, while lacking that edge, knows how to excite and provoke the viewer.